baby. Yes, I know I lost before, but now I'm a winner. Stop counting me out, all right?
Jessica Evil
I channeled my David Goggins. You gotta embrace the hell and live in it and just push through it. Para toda la gente, toda la raza de México, muchas gracias por todo el support.
Cynthia Calvillo.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered.
Please tell me that's on video.
I've never been happier. I'm made for a fucking podcast. We're dangerous. Listen to me, we're at it.
Welcome to UFC Unfiltered. Matt, Sarah, and I are joined by the main event today of this weekend's card. We have Jessica I and Cynthia Calvillo.
Calvillo?
Yeah. What were you saying about Calvillo before? You made a remark about the name.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I just thought I was making sure I heard it right. It was.
I made a horrible joke, Jimmy. I'm not going to lie to you.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. Joke. Should I repeat it?
Sure, but I didn't really hear it.
The last name, and you said it's Calvillo. Somebody said Calvillo.
Yeah,
I
Calvillo.
go, yeah, like Abbott and Calvillo. Abbott. It's worse the second time. Abbott and Costello. Forget it. Listen to
Abbott and Castillo.
Abbott and Castillo show. Woo, 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 woo.
Costello.
Let's Costello.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yes, but Abbott and Calvillo. So that was the joke. Was Abbott and
that was the joke. But we don't have any sound effects, so you can't do a car crash, Jimmy. I know that was a rough one. That's a lip biter.
That hurt me.
Jimmy, you know what I did yesterday? And I'm not ashamed to say it. Can I tell you?
You watched Abbott and Calvillo meet Frankenstein?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Meet the Wolfman. Mr. Talbot, get your dog off the hook.
Mr. Talbot, that's right.
We're showing our age with the Abbott and Costello.
I know.
But this one, know what I did yesterday? I did some jiu-jitsu, man.
You did?
I broke the social distancing rule, and I did some jiu-jitsu.
At your school?
I did it somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Who knows where I'm paying rent, so I don't want to say nothing yet with that.
That's a great point.
You know what's so funny, Jimmy? While I vent before we get Jessica I on the phone?
Sure.
I got one landlord who's so great. So great. And I'm talking to that guy. I'm working with that guy.
Sure.
The other landlord, okay? I've been with these people when I had my first shop that I lived in the basement of 1,500 square foot school. And I had the same landlord as I do now. Then I moved over that school. I upgraded to like 12,000 square feet.
Wow.
Just right over the Wanto Parkway there. Now it's in a nice strip mall. I got a nice, it's a nice big space. Same landlord. So I've been
same
with this
guy, different building, right?
Same guy, same thing,
sure.
Different building. So I've been with this person for 19 years, since 2001.
Wow. Okay.
Never missed a month. We're going to see what happens. They're not very, I don't know how much they're working with me. So
not being very amenable?
Well, the thing is this, Jimmy. I mean, I'm not hurting. My business ain't hurting because of something I did for a lack of students. This is something where
you haven't been allowed to conduct business. The government said you can't.
Hey, man, for 3 months, my doors are locked. No revenue coming in.
Not your fault.
You know what I mean? So you gotta. My other landlord's like, look, I understand. He still has to, and I understand their situations, Jimmy, because they got to go back to the bank and they got to pay the bank. So,
but aren't the banks being understanding with them?
Man, one guy is great. He really is. Joseph Davidian. I want to give that guy a shout out. What a nice guy. You know, guy's from LA. He's got property out here. I rent a spot from him for the last 10 plus years. He's a good egg because he knows what's going on with these times.
Sure.
My other guy, not so much. I'm not liking it because I deal with a middle guy. I never had a conversation with this guy, Jimmy.
Really?
In 19 years, not one conversation. I deal through the strip manager. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy who manages that strip of stores. So I deal with the middle guy, and the middle guy always seems to be a douchebag. So we're gonna see what happens, Jimmy. But you know me.
Can you send an email to the main guy? Or call the main guy.
I got my lawyer talking to them because Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know, one point with this one guy's one manager. My school manager, he dealt with it with something. He goes, yeah, I'll go over there. I'll put a sign on the door where nobody can come in, and there's nothing your karate could do about it. No, he's that guy. No, he's
What a fucking jerk off.
Imagine that.
What a jerk off. There's nothing your karate can do about it.
It's worse enough he's calling it karate. But listen, hey, man. Not that there's anything wrong with karate. I don't want the Machida.
No, but he's just, I know what he's saying.
I
he's saying
I don't need Lyoto Machida as an enemy.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine. I'm only fucking around. Or I don't want Mr. T. I don't want Mr. Thompson and Wonder Boy getting upset that I said
that is true. They will not care for your anti-karate stance, Matt, and I don't like it either.
It's bad enough that Mr. Thompson was wrong with the whole chemo getting his hair ripped out thing.
He wasn't correct.
He might still be salty about that. So I don't need an enemy with this man. He's my
That's right.
I like him. But Jimmy,
that's correct.
We gotta going forward, we all have to work together in this shit, man.
Sure.
I mean, whatever. So I don't know. I'm venting a little bit, but I think you and the UFC Army wants to hear it.
I know exactly. I think you're right. And I think it's shitty that someone, knowing that it's not your fault, knowing that it's not that Matt took a vacation or Matt's not doing good business, the government said you're not permitted to do it. So it's shitty.
My thing is this, I'm the king of comebacks. I don't mind rebuilding, but I don't want to be kind of like bent over. You know what I'm saying?
Of course,
like,
yes.
It's like, dude, work with me with this,
Now, what is he not doing? Is he demanding full payments? Just being a prick?
Oh, yeah, I'm not. Well, you know what? It's all, maybe I'm just looking at it negative before we actually sat down,
Right.
But, I'm getting bills and I'm not having any phone calls yet. So I'm going to have my lawyer talk to him. We're going to see what goes down. But it's nice to know, at least I still got one place that's going to be there, going to be there when the dust settles.
Your karate can't stop him from hanging something on your
Imagine
door.
that. Imagine the guy saying that. So imagine me talking to this guy. You think that's going to go well? I don't think so. So I would rather have my lawyer talk to him.
Sure.
And then we'll see what happens, Jimmy, enough of that shit. Did I tell you, did you hear the news about
Gilbert Burns?
No, but I want to hear about that.
Oh, what?
Well, now take another guess. Did you hear the news about?
Aljamain Sterling?
Oh, I mean, that's kind of old news now. The guy's going to fight for the title before you know it.
Sure.
Listen.
Oh, I know what you mean. Do it again?
You know what's fucked up? Now I forgot what
the news about?
Wait, the news about? Oh!
Stipe Cormier.
No, come on, cut the shit. It's about Fight Island.
Did you hear
July
11th? Yeah, I know where it is.
Well,
outside Abu Dhabi.
Why? Don't act like everybody knows.
I've been there. Dana flew me out there. It was a private party for some friends, and he flew us out.
Hey, can I tell you one thing, though?
Sure.
Well, actually, I don't know if I should say. I don't know. We might. There's a rumor about a looking for a fight there. I don't know if it's special or not. So if they don't want that to be known, cut it out.
Cut it out.
Filter unfiltered. Go ahead. How ironic is that?
When would it be?
Listen, well, I'm not going nowhere before July. I got to stay close to home.
July 11th is the fight.
Yeah. But hey, speaking of fights, here's the segue king. We have the main event. Oh, wait, no, it's fuckers. I thought they were saying that she's ready. They little type in something on our screen.
Yeah.
They were ready for Jessica.
They're working on it. She's not
They're
here
working
yet.
on it.
They're working on it.
So much for my segue.
That's all right.
We got fights this weekend, Jimmy.
Yeah.
What are we making picks?
I'll tell you one fight that I'm dying to see. Besides, obviously, the main event is the co-main event. The co-main event is Carl Roberson against Marvin Vettori.
Now,
I believe those guys really don't like each other.
You saw it happen at the weigh-ins last time. Is that the one who had problems making weight?
Yeah, they were yelling at each other in the lobby. That got
Marvin
really ugly.
Vittori.
Yeah,
is hysterical, man. He was in his face talking all sorts of trash, and he's like he's from Italy, Marvin. And you know that? He's the Italian fighter.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where he was from. I know who he is.
Oh, man. They were supposed to fight, and he was talking shit about him making weight, had problems making weight. And then because he had problems making weight, the guy couldn't fight. Carl Roberson. I had that right? That was Carl Roberson who was...
I believe so. Yeah. It got very, very heated in the lobby. I think it was a lobby.
I thought it was at the scale. I thought it was on the scale.
I thought they screamed at each other in the lobby as well. I might be incorrect.
Listen, more screaming the better because they're going to be locked in a cage. And what about Merab versus Ray Borg?
Oh,
that's great. That's great, man. I'll tell you though, man, Ray Borg, he just had a battle with Ricky Simone like a fucking week ago.
Yeah.
It feels like it. These guys don't want to stay busy, man. They're staying busy. Oh, I like that Andre Feely's back.
I do too.
I like that.
Yeah, Matt, sorry to interrupt you. It was in the hotel lobby that Vittori was going after.
Can I see it? I want to see it.
Yeah. It's they tried to find him in the hotel after the UFC fight got canceled. I remember seeing the video.
Listen, know what's interesting about that? At weigh-ins, they were talking some shit. All right. And then I saw that. So that was before it was called off. And then he was so amped up to fight Marvin. And then I guess that's the aftermath when he found out that the fight was called off. I can understand the frustration.
We have Jessica. Jessica I is ready, Matt.
Let's talk to Jessica I. She's a friend.
Hello.
There she is. What's up? What's up, Jessica I? Jessica Evil Eye. How are you?
Great, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I feel like I haven't seen you in a hot minute.
And I haven't seen you guys I usually come once a year to New York, so I didn't come this past year.
Well, it's understandable,
Yeah, it was a busy year, and I moved out west, so it was crazy.
Wait, where did you move?
I moved to Las Vegas to use the UFC PI. Yeah.
Oh, how is that going? How was that? Wait, you left your team. You were with Stipe's team, right? The Strong Style.
Yeah, man. 13 and a half years with those boys.
You got a tattoo, Strong Style, don't you?
Yeah. We're definitely there's when families have beef and they don't talk to their family for a couple months.
Yep.
We're kind of beefing a little bit. But I know that they love me and I love them. You know what I mean? Families sometimes argue. So any kind of success I have is a reflection on them. So, that's a huge bonus.
And now you're living in Vegas. Now, so are you in your house?
No, well, this morning, thankfully, I was ready for this interview. They threw so much at me, but my house is like 5 minutes down the street. So I just stayed at the hotel and
good.
All the corner. I was like, listen, we got a big week. Everybody get your eating, your drinking, get all of your fucking anxiety out of the way because we got a busy week. So they got a break from me and I got a break from them.
Well, here's why I'm asking, because I was kind of shitting on the pillows. So I'm happy that you're not in your house. I was saying that those are real hotel pillows, and I would have felt very guilty if you were still in your house and I had been saying unpleasant things about the pillows.
They're kind of ugly colored.
Hey, Jessica, tell me about the move really quick. And I'm not a drama starter.
Yeah, no, it's not
about the move. What made you want to go to Vegas?
So, it's long and short. I've struggled with a back injury for many years of my life. I got in a car accident as a young kid, and it's just something I've always struggled with. I broke T3 and T4, which is thoracic. So basically that's like right through the middle of your chest, which is a lot of times causes paraplegic style injuries. And a long time you don't ever have feeling fully back. So I've struggled with that my entire life. Right after I made my returning fight to 25 is just kind of when things really started to transition. Marcus has always been like a father figure to me. There's been no, shying of understanding that me and my dad have had a lot of problems and he's now passed, but Marcus has always kind of taken that role in my life. And when things weren't really going our way, as a good man, he pushed me to try to find other things. You're a pretty girl, Jess, you can do a million other things. Like your back has been really bad. And maybe there's trying to try other things. Really wasn't what I wanted. The the flyweight division came up and I was like, Marcus, the flyweight division's here. Let's go run this back, right? Like no more 4-fight skids. Cause at that point I was on a 4-fight skid and, we weren't sure if I was going to get cut. So, that was a lot. I think sometimes people don't realize how much you as a coach go through things. Marcus has known me since I was a little girl or a young teenager, that when things started to go sour for me, those tears and all that pain, he just, as a normal person who loves somebody, would say, hey, let's get away from that, right? That's not good for you anymore. And 4 fights, losing in Cleveland, Stipe's career was really taking off. That's when Francis and the DC trilogy was happening. And I felt like a lot of focus wasn't getting put on me the way that I wanted it. So moving forward from that, there was a little bit of disagreements in there. But I just said, maybe it's time that I just go. Maybe it's time I go to the PI. You guys can support me from a distance. Well, our friendships will always be there. Maybe they'll heal after the kind of the feeling of disloyalty kind of goes away, and realize that like I'm doing something better for myself. Well, in the midst of that move was right after I fought Caitlin Kujigan in Canada, was when I finally made that decision to fully move. We'd been struggling still with the back injury. My coaches were still coaching. Marcus still was letting everybody coach me. And even though he wasn't in my corner anymore because he wasn't agreeing with some of my life decisions, I think long and short, he didn't want me to fight anymore. He wanted me to go on with my life, be happy, and in a positive way. I know that doesn't sound right, but I think that the loving instinct in him got sick of seeing me hurt and sad because I wasn't winning fights, and it was destroying me as a person. So it was like ruining other things in my life because I wasn't winning, right? I think you can understand that when you lose sometimes, you just like all of a sudden you just like you're mean to your life, you're mean to everybody around you, you're just not happy, you don't feel like you. And I started kind of being that person. But then when we started winning, like that smiling, the happy, the like ability to now deal with loss, deal with rejection, like became so much better. I became more of a woman. I started fighting when I was 20 years old. I'm 33 now. I'm a completely different person. And even over the past couple of years. So I made the decision. I was like, look, I know this is kind of messing with our team. Stipe's got big fights coming up. I love all you guys. How about this? I'll just leave. You guys support me from a distance. I'm leaving. I left for Las Vegas, and in the midst of leaving for Las Vegas, I re-hurt my back going into the Shevchenko fight. Ended up having 6 herniations. I had 2 herniations, 2 bulges, 2 avulsions, and finding out we had spinal stenosis in my lower back from
What is spinal stenosis?
It's narrowing of the nerve pathway. So basically, I don't have as much feeling in my lower back as what other people would have. So those nerve endings, those things that tell you like sprawl or shoot fast or like that, had started to really just get really bad, and it wasn't being treated. I wasn't treating it. I mean,
well, Jessica, just to interrupt you, is that from your accident, or is that like a thing that just is the way your back is built?
So, well, that's what happens. Just like anything, if you blow out your knee, your chances of blowing out your other ACLs goes up. It's my spine was damaged at a young age, so it's just continuously gotten worse in different ways. You know what I mean? And it did for a couple of years there. I think being up at bantamweight wasn't the best part of me. I put on a lot of really crappy weight because I was like, oh, I'm moving up a weight class. I can eat what I want. And I think that encouraged the stenosis to get worse. And it got worse and it got worse and it got worse. And, I was just doing injection after injection after injection, trying therapies, trying different things, and nothing really, really worked. So we were moving a dresser into the pod when my back, I like tweaked it, and I was like, oh my God. And all the guys were like, you weren't supposed to be helping move. Like, we have the title fight. Like, what are you doing? And my personality is just a doer. I want to help. I want to be involved always. I always want to be a part of something that belongs to me. So we show up to Vegas in February, and the fight is in June. And, obviously, obviously, the fight's in June at that point, and the PI just goes into overtime, trying to help me. Eric Nixick was a good friend of Bobby Khalil, my old strength coach, and Eric knew strong style. There's no beef with those guys. They wanted me to go there. You know what I mean? They wanted Eric to kind of take it over. So it was just a lot, guys. It was new coaches. My brother moved with me. My jiu-jitsu coach moved with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So who's working your corner?
So Eric Nixick is is the head guy. Darren Branch, who's a black belt under the Gracie family. He's the second. And then my brother's the third. And my little wrestling coach, who's been he inspired me. This little wrestler, he's fucking 23 years old. Like, NCAA wrestlers have completely inspired me. they have the mindset of killers. Like they train every day just to do it, right? Like, and
Yeah.
I've been able to have that mentality, and they make no money. And I get to spend some time in the wrestling room with some college wrestlers and really kind of understand them. And I just love having the kid around, man. He went with me to Singapore with my other coach when we fought Jesse Jess, and it like that, like the demeanor in the corner, just like he encourages me to take smart shots. You know what I mean? And that's why people have gotten to see me wrestle. I mean, and gotten to see some of those beautiful takedowns.
Now, in the PI, are you working like massaging your back, getting all things done? I mean, are you taking advantage of that?
So yes, I literally worked. So it's been really great. Like it's empowering. Like I'm kind of I'm a very to myself kind of girl. So going to the PI was like super letting my guard down, right? Like here I am training next to JoJo. Valentina's upstairs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all these girls are right there. But I remember meeting with Bo Sandoval and Forrest Griffin when I first moved there, and explaining myself, being like, you know why fighters don't like you? Like we feel like you're never for us, and we're in a loyalty sport. So how am I ever gonna know if I'm for you? And they literally like sat me down, and Bo Sandoval, and who is my head strength coach, and I thank him and Heather for everything, dude. They've completely rebuilt me. Wait till you guys see me away, and you're gonna be like, dude, what the hell? They like pumped Jessica full of super juice. But so we got her on a program every single day. It became about true regimen. There were numbers that were set down. There were things that were like that. But what Bo said to me, he goes, Jessica, you're in a sport that has no secrets. There's no secrets in this sport. Our job is to help each one of you. We are not like, I have to trust that they're not going to tell my stuff. And if they do, what are you going to do? You're going to tell her that I'm strong as fuck? You're going to tell her that I'm good? You're going to tell people that I have a bad back? I've already embraced that. I've told people. So
Yeah.
because of that, like style of way they approached me allowed me to really let my wall down and let all my inhibitions down and just be like, hey, I'll let these people guide me. This is their job. They're here to help us. Right? If you sit there and say, hey, I'm not going to let these people help me who are extremely educated just because they might be helping my opponent. Like I can say first and foremost, they have never told me anybody else's information. They have never said anything that was out of means. And I've also never put them in a position where they felt like they had to tell me something or I had to tell them something. It's business as usual. And that's, I don't know. It's definitely weird. I'm a Midwest chick. I'm super like, I don't like sharing. So it's been a challenge. It's definitely been a challenge, but I embrace it.
When your coach is saying to you like, hey, you've been hurt, you've taken some losses, I want you to be happy, you should think about doing something else. Are you feeling when that's happening like, hey, this person doesn't believe in me? Are you taking it like, hey, this person doesn't believe in me? Or how are you interpreting that when it's being said to you?
Considering, yeah, I did. I feel like at times, there's more to the story that none of you guys will really want to know. It just is a bunch of drama that'll make you look like drama starters. But I see now compared to when it happened over a year and a half ago, because it actually started to happen right before Stipe fought DC the first time. That's when I left. That's when the argument officially happened. I can look back now and say, I miss them at times. I miss Marcus. I miss things about him. I'm so thankful for what he's done for me. And I can see now from the young girl that walked into his gym to the woman that he just wanted me to be happy. And I could see that. And I hope he sees how happy I am now. And the whole team does, you know what I mean? Like I still hear from them sporadically, and it feels good when I hear from them and I answer, like I'm not sitting there trying to fight this with hate. They know me too well. My childhood was too defeating and too hated that I don't want to live that person anymore. I don't have any quarrels with anybody. This is business. I'm a mean-hearted person because I like to win and I'm in a fight sport. So I can see it now looking back. When you get so mad and you're in things, you just don't see things clearly. Like after you get time to think about stuff, the loss of Shevchenko, was hard, like we waited for that moment. And those guys for 13 and a half years built me up to that person, to get to that, to not have them there, to be with new teams, it was emotional. And it was like, maybe it happened on purpose. You know, I try to find the hindsight in anything. And boy, do I feel like a better person now to this day, as an athlete, as a person, as the way I perceive life, the way I perceive fighting, the way I perceive nutrition, from missing weight last time to even now. Like, maybe mistakes make me better. And that's my story. And I hope that other people can realize that we don't all have to fit into the same mold as the next person next to us. We all have to adjust to each other. You know, like, how I talk to you isn't going to be how I talk to someone else. That be because of the situation. You have to be a good read of what those things are.
Well, listen, styles make fights. You're the main event versus Cynthia Calvillo. And Cynthia Calvillo this is what I like about this fight. There's not going to be much dancing around. You guys are both of you are aggressive fighters. Because I love watching you fight. You're a pit bull. But so is Cynthia. Cynthia goes for it. There's a reason why this is a main event. There's no way this is going to be a boring fight. This is not.
No, it's not. I mean, give us women a chance. You know what I mean? Like, we're just as scrappy. I think we're still in that transitional time where guys are just used to seeing male main events, and that's okay. You know what I mean? That doesn't, like, we as women in this sport, like, we gotta prove ourselves a little bit. And I like that chip on my shoulder. I like to prove myself. I like to come out there and feel like the underdog. I love that. It's never been anything that I've ever not shied away from.
Isn't this 2 main events in a row that are women headline? Like, you had Nunes and I just beat oh my God, Jesus Christ, Felicia Spencer. And then yourself and Cynthia. So it's 2 in a row. And I love the fact that they're doing that too, because at first anything new is hard to take, but then when you start, like some of the most exciting moments I've had watching UFC. I mean, when Amanda Nunes is knocking out Cyborg, I'm not thinking, these are women. I'm just like, this is fucking an incredible fight. So I think it's great that they have you guys headlining. And wasn't this kind of a short notice thing?
Yeah, it totally was short notice. And to go back to that, the more that guys like yourself, media outlets and that encourage it, like, it's gonna gather the people. They'll start following you. So the more that people embrace it and the more that people like talk about it in a positive light, people will follow behind. So I see this as just the beginning. But as a short notice fight, yeah, it totally is. So I had actually been offered a fight for Florida against Valentina Shevchenko's sister, the one that Caitlin actually fought.
Antonina.
Florida.
Yeah.
I hate this call with a sister. It sounds so
Weren't there 2 10-8 rounds in that?
Not you,
Antonina.
Jessica.
Is that how do you?
We got shit for that.
Antonina Shevchenko. Yeah.
Yeah,
Antonina Shevchenko. I never want. I butcher people's names. I can barely enunciate words on a regular basis, let alone. So, but yes, Auntie. We'll call her Auntie. Auntie. They actually offered me to fight her on 2 weeks' notice, and I normally at 25 when I've been in camp, right? So like I post this missing weight in December. We were like, hey, we're not missing. We're going to stay low. We're going to walk around. We're going to fix a couple things, like we're going to take some more data that we have. So we started fixing stuff, but then quarantine happened, right? Like freaking quarantine happened. In the first 2 weeks of quarantine, I lived with 2 boys and literally they eat like boys. So like, here I am like, first 2 weeks of quarantine, like screw it. I've been super light. I'm walking around at 140. I had elbow surgery back in February. Right after the fight, and I had like stayed in shape. I'm like, we can have a couple boba teas. We can have some katsu chicken fried. So, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm like, oh God, I'm 150. Shit. And then at that time, that's when I got my mats from Zebra. I got my entire garage done. Like, we were kind of in the midst of waiting that all my weights had been delivered, my bars, kettlebells, everything was getting delivered to have like a full, like, about 600 square feet is my little gym garage that I have. And I just got a sauna in it too. Not an infrared, but a real rock sauna. So I was like, man, I'm waiting for all these things to kind of start happening, but I was being lazy. You know what I mean? About things. Like I kind of vacationed for 2 weeks and all of a sudden then they call and I'm like, dang it, dude, I'm not ready. And I didn't like that feeling, right? Like I didn't like that feeling of not being ready because I had already been texting Mick like, hey dude, what's up with Shevchenko and Jojo? Like, you need me as a side? Like, can I squeeze in there? Like, I know if Viviani had beat me, they would have given Viviani a shot. So Mick hadn't been really like giving me a no, and I know Mick, like, so if he's not telling me no, it's not a no. You know what I mean? Like, usually if it's no, it's no. I'm not hearing anything, then there's a possibility. So then they offer me the fight with her on 2 weeks notice. I'm like, dude, I can't make 25 on 2 weeks notice from 150. So then I hit up Chael. I'm like, Chael, can I do one of your submission undergrounds in May? Can I do one of those ones really quick? You know, it'll help me like motivate me. I've already been grappling and everything. And Chael's like, well, I don't have anything, but I have something June 21st. I'm like, dope, let's do it. Sign me up. I don't care who she is, what weight, let's grapple, let's have fun, let's stay active. So then I text Mick. I'm like, hey, since we're not taking that fight, you know, I'm going to do a grappling match on the 21st. I know you guys are coming here in June. I'd already been in touch with the PI being like, hey, let's get my nutrition down. Let's like really start nailing some stuff down. And then it was sure as crap. I texted him. I said, hey, I'm signing this deal for the 21st. You don't have me, right? I hear nothing from him. Literally a week later, he was like, he calls me, I'm napping or something. And then he calls Eric, and like Eric starts blowing my phone up, and he's like, I finally pick up, I'm like, hello? He's like, Jessica, Cynthia Calvillo main event, June 13th. And I was like, oh, what? Like, and I'm sleeping, so I was like, what? Wait a minute, what? Who? She's coming up? Where? In the Apex or Florida? And he's like, Apex. I'm like, okay, let me get up. Let me like, literally, I get up, go to my brother's room, and I'm like, hey, they want me to main event, and he's napping in the other room. I'm like, hey, they want me to fight Cynthia Calvillo main event. And he was like, fuck yeah, dude, just do it. And then rolled back over. And I literally text back, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's go. Let's do it.
So your brother went right back to napping then? He said,
literally went right back to napping. Literally went right back to that.
He's roll over. She told him, Jimmy, she told her brother she's main eventing, and I thought he'd jump up and be like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, take it. And he rolls back over. What the fuck?
When he woke up, he like got him out of the bed like 5 minutes later with this big old, like, he always pokes his belly out. And he was like, dude, you're going to murk this. And I was like, so I should do it, right? I was like, it's 3 weeks. We've never done this. So they're like, Jess, you're in shape. You've been busting your ass. Like, during the quarantine, after that first 2 weeks, like, I started to realize my vices that I use in life that make me happy and keep me from going to like emotionally dark places, like doubt, like not liking what I look like in the mirror, like all these things that started coming is fitness. Fitness is my vice. MMA is my vice. Like, it's what keeps me sane, right? Like, the competition helps, but the regimen, right? Like, if I don't have a regimen, I lose my sense of life. So like, after that 2 weeks time, my mats and everything got there. We had already started training 2-a-days. I was 10 o'clock was strength and conditioning, 7 o'clock was Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I set up a schedule for myself. So in that time, like, the guys were like, dude, you're so nuts. Like, you've been doing this for weeks. Like, so to get where we are now, you know, 3 weeks since the fight had been offered, from 6 weeks from the time my mats, you know, here we are almost 8-9 weeks. And I feel like I've been in the camp. I really have. I mean, Steve, Francis and Eric were getting ready at the same time for a fight. So I was getting mitt work. I was going into extreme on that and the hidden times, you know, like, and getting my mitt work in still. So I was getting my mitt work in. I was getting my Brazilian jiu-jitsu at home every single day, because we were going to do a submission underground against a black belt. And I'm more scared of the girl I'm going up against in the black belt competition, because those black belts are scary than I am for this. Like, it allowed me to really work on my ground game and do things like that. And we already know striking is who I am. I'd love to take this fight to the ground. You know,
Hey,
I'd love to show them how good I am.
I've seen you grapple before when you visit New York. You've been at my academy many times. And let me tell you, for someone who loves the striking, you're not one dimensional, because you are dangerous on the ground. I know firsthand.
It's really been fun, because, you know, my coach, when I made the decision to leave, right, like Cleveland, one of the things was Jenny from over with Ray. It's
Jenny
been
Nadell.
a long time friend of mine. Jenny's the reason I come up there. And I text Jenny and I was like, man, Jenny, I like really love Matt. I love Matt's style of coaching. I love your energy. Like, that to me, like, I don't do well with that, like, rah, 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 rah. I do well with that. Like, yeah, let's go. You're the
Is that an impersonation of me? And she left.
Good impersonation of you.
Yeah, because my jujitsu coach, like Darren, will be like, yes, bitch. Yes. Like, I do well with that. So you like Darren, my jujitsu coach, reminds me so much of you. Like, Matt, if I could find, since the day I came up there, you have completely inspired me. You have a great coaching style. And that I love that energy. To me, I like feed off of that kind of energy. You know, like
that's what you want.
It like makes me want to like squeeze my fist and just squeeze people. So like that has been such an awesome thing for me, and I've really embraced it even in this quarantine time. Like Darren, he's just spent so much time with me. We fixed so many cool, like, I put the gi on more this time. Like, ooh. I did things that, you know, like I didn't normally do. And maybe it's because we were training in our gym in our house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like I had no inhibitions. Like, I wasn't scared of anything. Like, nobody could see me. And I could mess up and not feel like someone was looking at me going, oh, you should have seen her mess up. She sucks. Like, I was totally ready to make mistakes and fix them.
You know what's good? It seems like it's like new and exciting for you, everything, which did you ever leave the Midwest? Is this your first time living elsewhere? Well, yes, I mean, shit, man, this is exciting. Hey, listen, there's rumors. I don't know if he let it out of the bag yet. I think Aljo might be moving too. I don't want to, if he didn't say
no, so Aljo, when he came the last time, so you guys, I love the New Yorkers, dude.
Yeah.
If I'm lucky enough, I'll marry a New York man. I love you guys. You're
if
great.
They're
you
lucky
guys
enough.
Been like,
if they're lucky enough, yeah.
Yeah. I love you guys. And Aljo, when he came out here, right after I think his wrist surgery, like we were drinking all White Claws with my brother and everything. Like we're all hanging out, and I'm like, dude, like, if those guys love you and support you, they'll see the benefit to some of these things that the PI has to offer. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of great offerings, and to really fix our body, it really does there. And Aljo had said that. I said, man, you know, you got us. We got your back. You know, I'm a Midwest girl. I got your back. Whatever I can do to help with you and all of your people. So I've gotten to see Al at the PI and his hair. So I know everybody's
Jessica, we have to wrap because we have Cynthia Calvillo next. We have her actually. She is ready. So we're talking to both of you guys today. And before we go, I want to say, first of all, how you're a very good writer. And I read that piece you wrote, and it was so compelling. So if anybody wants to learn about you, where can they go to find that great piece you wrote about your life?
It's actually on my IG page. You can click on the Players Tribune article. It's a small part of my life and gives maybe people a little bit better of an understanding of what I come from and where I
perspective. Yeah, it was really great. And it's great talking to you, and good luck this Saturday night in the main event.
Woo! Midwest on fire!
Evil Eye. All right, Jessica, all our best.
I will talk to you again.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Cynthia, I feel like I haven't seen you forever. How are you? I'm always running into you and at all the events and everything. It feels like it's been a long time.
Yeah, I think because my last fight, you were actually not able to do the UFC Unfiltered. You went to like Disney World or something with your family.
That's probably right.
Yeah,
I'm there a lot.
Yeah.
So it was me and who else? Was I with somebody when I talked to you?
You were. I think it was another woman. I forget her name.
Phoenix Carnivale. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. Yes.
The point is that Cynthia was upset that I wasn't there, but I'm here now.
Yes, Matt is here now.
Let's catch up. You're in the main event, Cynthia. Yep. I am so psyched. And what a dance partner you have with Jessica Evil Eye, two aggressive fighters that, you know, there's a reason why this is the main event. I don't see either one of you taking a backward step.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited for this fight, especially for me moving up a weight class. I feel like there's definitely going to be a little bit more aggressiveness. You know, I'm not going to be worried about, you know, the weight cut hurting me. So I'm really excited. I feel like I'm finally at the weight class I belong, and, you know, no better way than to come after the #1 contender as I make my flyweight debut.
We were just talking to her. She seems she's also very happy. We were talking about the state of like women's MMA, And I mean, I just realized as we were talking, this is the second main event in a row with Amanda and Felicia Spencer, and now you guys fighting. And you have to love, because the more popular that gets, the more fight opportunities you're going to have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's great. I mean, you know, it's crazy times right now. And I feel like this is like us just being a part of history, you know, the UFC being the only sport going on right now. And like,
Yep.
It's just amazing. It's a pleasure. Honestly, like I was not expecting it, but when the opportunity came, I was like, let's go. I mean, that's the way it is within the fight business. You know, an opportunity presents itself, you got to take it. And this was just something I was just, man, I don't know. I kind of feel like I hit the lottery a little bit, especially because, you know, I had a little bit of, you know, I had some trouble my last fight. I got, you know, in this weight and I got a draw. So I'm like, man, you know, how are they going to give me something, opportunity like that? But sometimes, you know, if you don't ask, you know, you ain't going to get it. So that's what I ended up doing. And I got it. So I'm happy. I'm super.
How much did you miss weight by? How much was it?
By 4.5 pounds.
Now, at what point, like when you're going through a weight cut, like, is there a point where you're like, it's just not going to happen? Like how far before the actual weigh-ins you're like, I can't do it, or it won't, I just can't get there?
Well, I think it was after a couple hours. We just could not sweat, like at all, nothing. They were doing everything they could. You know, we had Charles from the PI, and I had my coaches, and we were doing our best, but it was just a lot of things out of our control. It was, unfortunately, you know, a lot of women do struggle with that. It's like that time of the month, you know, and I did get that. And then on top of that, I had just gone over like a staph infection, and it was just like really bad timing with everything. And it just kind of like, I was like, I don't know, my body didn't feel good. So I was like, I got to move up, because in case things like this happen, I don't want to risk it. I'm tired. It looks unprofessional. And I feel like me being at flyweight, if things like that happen, I can still make the weight. So.
But that was the first time you ever missed weight, correct?
No.
Oh shit, my bad.
No. It was.
I don't want to bring up negative shit. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You know, it's just, but that's the ultimately what the decision was, to go up to flyweight. You know, when I got into the UFC, there was no flyweight division. It was only strawweight division. And, you know, the goal for us fighters is, you know, get into the UFC, whatever, by any means, you know? So I would kill myself every single time I made the strawweight division, but I never experienced getting my period during that time. And as I'm older, you know, it's way worse. The symptoms are way worse, you know? So, my body is just not, you know, it's not going there. Like, it's hard to make that weight. I went to go do body composition at the UFCPI this last time after, and I have gained a lot of muscle since before when I got into the UFC. So I'm like, yeah, it's just best for me to come up here, you know, to flyweight.
I never thought about somebody's period being a problem with a weight cut, but I guess it can be, right? It's just, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, you retain water, you get a lot of swelling. You know, and of course the hormones, the craziness and all that, but my body just shut down. It was crazy. It was just, it happened to me twice. And after that, I was just like, cause I was like, we can prepare for it better next time. Maybe the weight cut protocol that I did when I first got it, I didn't do it right. And then the second time I was like, all right, yeah, we can't do this anymore. You know, we got to go up, to flyweight division. So that's why we decided. And I think it's a great move. You know, all my fights, I started fighting at 135 when I was an amateur. Most of them are at 25. My first pro fight was at 125. And I slowly, little by little, started cutting because there was no flyweight division. And, you know, I wanted to get into UFC. So I did it. But now there is a flyweight division. And so
perfect.
Missing weight twice, I think it's a perfect move.
And where are you training now full time? I know you were with Alpha Male. I don't know if you're with them anymore.
Yeah.
Where are you training now?
I'm at American Kickboxing Academy now. So I'm at AKA now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a great gym, but the only issue is it closed down like maybe 2-3 weeks into me training, you know? And so we didn't for a couple of weeks. So that was kind of hard because you don't get the same experience with having the whole team there, you know what I mean? So this last couple of weeks, like even just getting adjusted there with my coaches, it was these last 2-3 weeks have been like really small groups, you know. Luckily Javier has allowed us to come in there, but we're only allowed, you know, our 2 coaches and like 2 training partners. So
tell me about the move now, because Jessica, she moved from her longtime team, the Strong Style, over in from the Midwest over there. She was with Steve A&M. So she went to Vegas. It's a new thing for her. What made you move from Alpha Male to AKA?
I would say, I mean, a lot of things changed throughout the year. I was there at Team Alpha Male for 5-6 years. The coaching kind of switched up, and it just kind of got weird. I think everybody was just kind of. I felt like my parents were going through a divorce, when the coaches were fighting each other. So I tried to stick it out, after a while, but I felt like I was just in the middle of it, and the vibes were just not great. And I was like, man, it's really time to maybe figure some things out. And, I was home visiting my parents. I was born and raised in San Jose, and that's where AK is located. Well, anytime I go anywhere, I try to go train somewhere, that's what we do as athletes. So, I went home and, I got to train there. I was like, man, there's actually really a lot of guys that are my size, because at first, when I first started, AK was not probably the best place for me to go to because it's only big guys. You have DC, Cain Velasquez. Like, I'm not training with those guys.
Yeah.
But now they had smaller guys, and it felt great because I was actually back home with my family. I was gone for so many years, and I didn't get to spend time with my parents. And now it did. It just kind of felt right. Felt right to come back home, and I feel like a lot of.
When you switch at teams like that, what is the scary part? Telling your old team, or do you have to ask the new team first and go, hey, I'd like to come here? Like, are you afraid they're going to go, now we don't have room for you? Or what is the scarier of those two things?
I mean, I think I left Team Alpha Male before I even had another team to go to.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. So I had left like last year in like March. And throughout that whole time, I didn't have like a real team, I had gone to Thailand my last fight camp to go train at Tiger Muay Thai. I was there. It's awesome, but let's just say I got, like I said, I was dealing with the staph infection and stuff like that. You can't fly out. Like, it was just crazy. It just ended up having one of those, like, nightmares of, like, when you go overseas and you get stuck.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. But I couldn't, I wasn't going to pull out. I needed a fight. So, I just got to kept it under wraps as far as, like, what I was going through that whole fight camp. But it was a little bit of a nightmare. But then, so all those feelings and having like that bad, like luck of like last year, leaving the team, going to Tiger, having not so great there. And then I'm like, okay, mom and dad, I need, coming home. And then, and then it's there. So I was just kind of like, and so it just made sense. I went to AK and I talked to Hav. I was like, hey, Hav, I haven't decided whether I'm going to go somewhere exactly, where I'm going to go at first. I was like, but I would very much, like to get a feel for this place and just see how it goes. And he's like, yeah, you're more than welcome, whatever you need, just let me know, go ahead, and then the pandemic hit, and it's just been great. They've actually the coaches that I have been working there, my new head coach Ron Kessler, I don't know if you guys know him, but he also fought he's a previous MMA fighter, and he actually beat up War Machine, so that's why I like him a little more,
There you go. Oh, that's nice.
But they've been great. They've been doing the best that they could in this pandemic to make sure that I get everything I need to be prepared. So, so that's, we're just going with the flow. We're just taking it day by day, but I think I'm going to be there for a while.
Do you have any nerves at the main event?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, obviously the more concerned thing that I would have is like that it's a 5-round.
Right.
Not so much that it's the idea that it's like, say it didn't matter if it was a 5-round prelim, obviously that'd be more concerning. I think especially because concerning of what's going on and maybe because there's no crowd, I don't know how that's going to play into maybe the nerves will be a little bit less. But I mean, for the most part, no, I'm excited to just compete, main event, no main event, I've been lucky I've already fought like co-main event and still kind of feel that like build up.
Yeah.
But I know it's nothing in comparison to like having a main event as far as how many applications you have. Sure, it's probably less though because of the pandemic. So, but it's great, man. I'm excited. Yeah,
you should be. You have a great co-main too. I mean, and Roberson Vittori is. I mean, again, those guys have such animosity. That's sometimes you like a grudge match between two guys that really want to fight. So I think it's a great card, and you should be very happy.
Cynthia, you're such a warrior. I always see you training. What do you like to do when you're not training?
I hang out with my dog. I go paddleboarding.
I was going to bring up the paddleboarding. I don't stalk your Instagram, but I saw you on there. That's when you're standing up and I seen a clip. You ever seen a clip of a dude doing that and a dolphin comes and knocks him off? You ever seen that?
Oh,
shit?
No.
Oh, it's so much fun. I don't know why I brought that shit
I thought you were going to talk about like those boxers. Those they have like a rivalry. I forget their name. Shoots. but one guy, he kept going and messing with the other fighter. I forgot where he was from. He'd like find him at the restaurant and go over there and mess with them. And then one time he was paddleboarding. He went and found him while he was paddleboarding, took a boat and like made a bunch of waves and like just.
Is this an MMA fight, guys?
No, they were boxers.
Oh,
it
that's
was
hysterical.
I forget what it was, but it was so funny. They were documenting this guy would just go out of his way to find the other guy just to troll him, like whatever he could.
So what do? You don't catch no waves with that thing. You just walk around. You just paddle around.
Yeah, for sure. Some people can catch the waves if they're really good. Obviously, that was like they're good at surfing. I'm not really good at surfing, so I like paddleboard, more balancing work. You know.
It looks relaxing. It wasn't real. I did that thing one time on Dana White looking for a fight in the Arctic, in like Alaska. So I didn't want to fall over, and the idiot I was with was trying to make me fall, and I was, wet. And I didn't look good in a wetsuit. It wasn't my thing, Yeah. But that is awesome. What do you want? What are you streaming? Are you a big TV person or no?
I'm
watching Ozark.
You love it, right, Matt? You love Ozark.
I'm watching Ozark, man. I'm on the 3rd season. It's crazy. But go ahead. What are you watching?
Surprisingly enough, I really don't really get into any of the series and stuff. Like I like to just kind of go do stuff. I was little. I never really liked watching TV. I just wanted to go do stuff. I have so much energy, and I'm just like, I gotta go do stuff. Like I have a very short attention span. So I might have never been diagnosed with like ADD or something, But
hey, well, me neither. But chances are I might.
We know. Trust me, I've diagnosed Matt. He has ADD.
Yeah, I feel kind of bored, when people ask me like, "Hey, what are you watching?" They ask me this stuff. I was like, honestly, I really don't. I don't really get into them. Like, I might get bored. I might watch like 1 or 2 episodes, and then I'm like, all right, I'm out.
You get bored.
You're done.
What age did you first got into the martial arts? What was your first discipline you got into?
It was everything at the same time. I didn't start till I was 23. I didn't have any background in any sport or anything. I was just
get out of here.
No, I was just like this depressed fat girl that wanted
to.
Yes.
You were the depressed fat girl?
Yeah. And
I can't see that.
Fat girl, at heart. I love food, But
I'm a fatty too at heart. And in person. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just, it was one of those times I think I'd like gone through a huge breakup. I was super depressed. I felt like I was in a very controlled, environment before. And so now, when I turned 23, I was like, man, I can finally go do stuff, on my own. I feel like one time I tried to do a kickboxing class, and the guy that I was with at the time, he got super jealous. And he's like, you can't do that. You're going to over there go talk to the guys. And I'm like, all right, whatever, And I was just kind of dealt with it. In Mexican, communities and cultures, it's just different. Dudes are very controlling. You just kind of allow it. And then it wasn't until I was and plus, you're young and dumb. You kind of just do it. Yeah. So when I was 23, there was a gym about a block away. And I was like, man, I really want to try this. I've always liked it. I want to go, Mexicans always want to throw hands. We always want to, go. So I was like, yeah, I think this will, go take some frustration out. I went and I was like, holy crap. It was just kind of like, I walked in and I trained. I was like, this is what I was supposed to be doing all of my entire time, I was like, I couldn't imagine where I'd be if I actually started this a lot earlier. But I was such a natural at it. I had my first fight a year later, got a knockout in the 3rd round. I was hooked. I was like, all right, let's go.
That was only 9 years ago.
Yeah, 9 years.
Yeah, so I didn't start until, late.
That's why. That is really wild. And no sports as a kid or anything.
Just played in the streets.
Yeah, and no street fights or anything, or no?
I think I had my first fight when I was in 5th grade.
Okay.
And it's weird because it's for whatever reason, since that time I was little, I was obviously very competitive, very defensive. I never liked bullies, but I always wanted a fair fight. Yeah. So back then, especially where I grew up in the neighborhood, girls they wear rings and stuff, and to go fight. Not me. I think I was in an after school program, and one of the kids, they were little bad girls, and they're like, oh, I heard you call me a B, and I was like, no, I didn't call you a B, but what if I did?
Yeah.
Let's go meet in the back of the cafeteria. I was like, all right, let's go. I was a natural. Somehow we went at it. I ended up on top of her, mounted, and then I was just like, are you good? I was fair. Are you good? I'll let you up. I'm not going to beat you up everyone. If you want to go out, again, we can go, and then that was the end of it. And then later on, throughout life, I don't know. Sometimes they would try to mess with me, and then as soon as I'd like back it up, they'd be like, oh, okay, never mind.
So starting at 23 to really start training, does anybody back from knowing you when you were a kid, are they surprised? Are they shocked that you become this UFC fighter star and main eventing? Or are they like, oh, I never seen this side of Cynthia? Or are people looking at that going, oh, that makes sense?
I think that if they like knew me, they can always kind of tell. I think that once I got in a relationship later on, like in high school, then yeah, it was different. I think people that knew me before when I was like in my early 20s before I started fighting would definitely say I'm a completely different person than I was back then. But I've always been feisty. I'm the baby of the family, so they'd spoil me. I was a little brat, and so.
How many siblings?
I have 2 older brothers and 1 older sister.
Okay.
And I guess the only thing that else that could have prepared me is when they'd use me as a rag doll for WWE because my brother loves it. So he'd always like pick me up and fake choke slams and stuff like that.
That's hysterical.
And they would smack me around just to piss me off. So I guess they kind of prepared me a little bit.
Well, look, this Saturday, you are main eventing against Jessica Eye. Congratulations. I'm happy to see women's MMA doing so well. And I'm also looking forward to this fight a lot. And like I said, you guys have a great co-main. So good luck this week. It's very exciting.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I cannot wait, man. I'm super excited, especially during this time, man. I thought we were going to be locked up for a long time. So
yeah, and the UFC is the one sport that's really active, and they're putting on fights almost every week. So it's probably gaining a lot of new fans, and a lot of people who might not have watched before are watching now because other stuff is not on. So you're main eventing at a great time.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's crazy times, man. Crazy times.
Looking forward to it, Cynthia.
Yeah, we'll talk to you on the other side, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Cynthia. Good talking to you.
Take care, Cynthia.
Bye.
I'll tell you, Jimmy.
Really great.
We got to do our picks. It's going to be a
yes.
That's going to be a hell of a fight. What do you want to start?
I have a doctor's appointment, so we have to do them quickly. I have to go to the doctor.
Let's go, Jimmy. What's wrong with you?
No, nothing. It's just I'm embarrassed to say this.
No, don't say it.
I have extraordinarily large genitals, and they're saying that for health reasons, I have to have them made smaller.
Anyway.
Terrible joke.
Fucking Jimmy. Boo. I love you.
You're right, boo. I know.
Boo.
Abbott and Cavillo and my genital jokes. Neither one should be in the final one, but they'll both make it. Let's go for the main event. This is a very tough one, though.
It's weird, dude. It's a weird one.
I don't know who to take. I may have to go Cavillo by decision.
Man.
Very tough.
It is a tough one. But I mean, her record in the UFC, she only lost.
She's 8-1.
She only lost. No, it's 5-1. I just saw here, I think.
Oh, in the UFC. I'm sorry. I'm talking about her overall record.
Yeah, I'm looking at the one here. So, I mean, based on that she really only lost one fight. Guys, who did she lose to? Look that shit up while we're looking.
She lost to Carlos Esparza.
Well, listen.
A decision.
I'm going to say Cynthia Calvillo by decision also. Not to copy you.
No, that's a fair one.
They're both durable, but based on the fact that she's only lost once, and I like both girls, yada yada. All right.
Roberson against Marvin Vettori, the co-main event. Now the issue, I'm guessing, because Vettori has fought I'm sorry, yes. He has fought at middleweight and welterweight. And Roberson had, I guess, misweight because he has fought at light heavyweight. He fought Glover at light heavyweight. I am going to take in this one Roberson by a second round stoppage.
Oh, that's interesting, Jimmy. That's fucking interesting. Because guess what?
What?
I'm taking the same thing, but by TKO, second round.
Stoppage.
Vettori.
Same thing. We're taking the same thing. I said stoppage.
No,
stoppage.
My bad. Okay. Same thing. Different guy going with Marvin. I love his fucking attitude, dude. He's not looking to make friends.
No, I like him a lot.
I like his attitude. I'm going with the Italian dream.
Oh, you are? Okay, I'm taking Carl Roberson.
No, I know. I'm doing the opposite.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm taking the second round stoppage.
Okay.
Marvin. Yes. Let's keep it going.
Now, Merab Dvalishvili.
Yes.
Against Ray Borg.
I got Merab. Go ahead. I'm saying Merab.
I'm going to take I'm going to take Merab. I'm going to take him by decision.
I'll tell you how I'll take him after. But
okay, yeah, I'm going to say I think he could submit Borg. Yeah. And do I want to amend this? Because he's so. You know what?
What?
Merab.
Oh man.
Second round submission.
Ooh, Jimmy. I like that. Spicy. Okay. Well, I got Merab, and I'll tell you how another time.
Okay.
Let's go only because Andre Feely.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of him.
Now he's coming off a decision loss to Sadiq Youssef. Before that was a first round knockout of Shaman Moraes. Now Jourdain is coming off a win and a loss as well. They both flip flopped. Whereas Charles won his last fight over Doo Ho Choi.
Third round stoppage, Feely. Feely's a beast, man. He's got a lot of he's got a lot of decisions that look very, very close and questionable. So
I will take.
I'm a fan of him, and it's not because the dude likes comic books. It has nothing to do with that. If it was close, that might push me to his direction, but he likes that stuff, and I like his music. He does thing where he just says words and he gets angry.
Yeah,
he's like the blue, green sky, the shit like that. I'm like,
that's right. And I like Andre a lot.
It's not like that at all, but it's something like that. So I'm going with Andre Feely, third round stoppage.
Now let's.
Strike.
I'm going to take Feely. I'm going to take him on. I'll give him a second round stoppage again. Second round stoppage.
Okay.
I know I'm giving a lot of second round stoppages.
Yeah,
but
Jimmy.
No, you know what? Fuck it. Third round stoppage. That's my first thought. I'm going to take third round.
Oh, you didn't want to copy me, but hey, dude, you can do a little piggyback. Jump on my back, Jimmy.
Now, Mark De La Rosa.
Yes.
Has lost three straight fights.
So you're saying he's due for a win?
Well, Jordan Espinoza has lost 2 straight. So let me just make sure that's correct. So he is also due for a win. That's always tough when both guys are coming off of multiple losses in a row. Yeah, he's lost 2 in a row.
He got subbed by that Alex Perez, and that Alex Perez is
he got subbed twice in a row.
Just a calf kicker.
Dude, two first round submissions in a row. I don't see that happening again. Now, Rosa has had his losses have been a TKO and a decision. I'm going to give Mark De La Rosa by decision over Jordan Espinoza. I think they're both desperate for a win. Sometimes that makes an extremely exciting fight, but these guys are light. So I think it's going to be 2 guys moving quickly. And again, I don't mean fighting safe, but I think also both trying to fight against the loss as much as a win. So I'm going to take Mark De La Rosa by decision.
All right. I'll do the opposite. I'm taking Jordan by decision.
Okay. If you want to hurt me.
Do I want to hurt you? I want to hug you.
I said, no, if you want to choose the opposite.
Oh, okay. Jimmy, you know what gets me sad on Wednesdays?
We won't be talking until Monday.
Oh, Jimmy. That means you feel the same way.
Wait, what did you say? Did you say the great thing about Wednesdays?
Did you say the great?
Oh, sorry.
Jimmy, come on, Jimmy. You know I'm a manly man, but that does hurt my feelings. Don't even joke around like that.
I don't mean it.
I get emotional during quarantine.
I'm very happy.
Jimmy, let's do a proper plug for the fights this weekend, please, because you're the man.
Main event, Cynthia Calvillo against Jessica Eye. Marvin Vettori, of course, against Carl Roberson. Those guys were, I think Vettori is angrier than Roberson.
I like watching the fights at the Apex. I don't think it looks bad at all. I think it's cool.
It's great. Merab fighting against Ray Borg, a very, very exciting fight.
Dude. Oh, man. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. My Saturday night is planned, and I'm sure I'm going to sneak in a FaceTime with you before then.
Yes, we will definitely talk before then.
You know, Jimmy? All right, buddy. Listen, to everybody, to the UFC. Yes. Oh, shit. Hey, on Monday, you guys write in some more questions because they've been writing in the questions. Now we're not giving them any fucking answers.
I love those questions. So, yeah, please write in, and we will be happy to. If the producer gives it to us, we will ask them. We've just been a little negligent in that, but we will do it.
We love our fans. We love the Unfiltered Army, Jimmy.
The Unfiltered Army, yes, we do.
Jimmy, I will talk to you later. Everybody, thank you so much.
Yes.
And goodbye, everyone. Enjoy
Talk
the
to you
fights
soon.
this weekend.
All right, Matt.
Later, Jimmy.
Bye, guys.